And welcome back everyone, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, the hardest career series. Today's episode we're going to be launching the next pair of spacecraft in the Explorer series, namely Explorers 5 and 6. I'm going to be sending these out on a pretty high trajectory ejection course. Try and get them as far away as possible from Kerbal as quickly as possible. I'm going to be sending them out to the outer planets, both together. And these are primarily about testing at least one of the new comms hardware pieces we've actually got access to. And it should reach out, each of the antennas reach out about 22.5 gigameters. These are the direct antennas. We have none of the relay dishes. No point fitting relay dishes to these spacecraft, because we don't need to relay anything. Alright, so we're launching those in a moment. However, as soon as we've sent these on their way, we'll then check on the other Explorer spacecraft as well, 1 through 4. Now, of course, we have no contact with Explorers 1 and 2, but we still have contact with 3 and 4. So we'll see if we're going to do something with those two spacecraft. But we'll check on the other two as well, 1 and 2. And then at the end of the episode, we're going to be joining the first spacecraft we sent towards Journey, but obviously it's the second one to arrive. It is a few days, but it's going to take us a few days to see what we're going to do. So 5 days, 2 hours and 5 minutes, see just there. That's the SOI change. So we've sent the spacecraft. We've already done a flyby mission with the second spacecraft we sent, but we sent it, so I might as well join it. Otherwise I might feel a little bit lonely. So that's going to put the end of the episode. Alright, well first of all, let's start the two missions. Explorers 5 and 6. So head to Pad A and launch Explorer 5. Okay, so still with the first stage. Our hypothesis is just about to cross 50 kilometers. So a lot of delta V, a lot of spare delta V. And I forgot, we don't have advanced SAS controls on these particular probe cores. So a slight oversight on the part of the engineers. Shouldn't be a problem though. So I'll throttle back to 50%. And we've still got a third of the first tank remaining. So quite obviously, we have massive amounts of delta V, which is good, because we want to try to use as much power as possible, much delta V as possible, to try and eject these as quickly as possible. Once the framing goes, I'll show you the actual spacecraft themselves. 70 kilometers. Okay, so circularize. I'll let the fairing go, and I'll show you the spacecraft themselves. Then we shall head back to KSC and launch Explorer 6. Once they're both in orbit, we'll then decide which one's going to be ejected out of the Kerbal system first. Okay, so first stage is gone on the LH2 stage. And we'll let the fairings go. Although we don't have real daylight. Okay. So I still need to manage this LH2 stage. Because it's down on TWR quite a lot. Obviously it would be 50% throttle. But it's only 0.62. So I'll keep the nose up a little bit. Okay, so as soon as I finish circularizing, I shall then show you the spacecraft once we're in daylight. Okay, so here's the spacecraft. Just coming to daylight now. So I've got the 3 of these. The C3 Combinatron DTS M1. As I said at the beginning, before we launched, the dish itself, which is a companion to this, the antenna, the dish itself is only for relays. So it wouldn't really be suitable for a deep space probe. Unless you want to sort of secondarize it as a deep space relay, which is a possibility, I suppose. So I've got the solar panels, got the battery packs. Should give us plenty of electric charge to be able to send at least a little bit of science back, but obviously the only things we can actually fit on, show on rigid attachment. Well, pretty obvious. Okay, we've got thermostat, and I believe the other one was a materials bay. Yeah, materials study mini lab. Again, I don't know why these, for some reason, you put these things on, and there's no rigid attachment selection in the VAB when you attach them, but out in the flight scene there is for some reason. I don't know why that is. I'll deploy these manually if I need to. Electric charge 602, is that? Yeah, 602. Okay. We shouldn't need all of them. We'll deploy just 2 for now. We shouldn't need them. There are some tracking. 1x6 again, so we've already used before plenty of times. Just see. No, we're not using anything like as much electric charge. Okay. Alright, so that's the spacecraft, and Explorer 6 is exactly the same. So each one of these is 22.5 gigameters. Let's say gigabytes then, gigameters. But the 0.75 each time, so it's 75% each time you added one on, so it's only 75%. But we should be easily able to, reach 22, blah 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 blah. I'll say at least about between 40 and 50 gigameters. Now Juno at its closest approach is about 36 gigameters, if I remember correctly. It's about 36, something like that. It's not its absolute closest approach, but it's close air approach. So that window that we launched our previous Juno missions. So we should be able to reach Juno. 2,500 for the first SRB, second SRB back, and the core stage back. Okay, that's good. Alright, so we'll leave this. We shall head back and head straight over to Pad B and launch Explorer 6. Okay, let's let the first stage go. And then we'll finish segularization up. Try to keep it as low as possible. Okay, so I'll try and keep this. Explorer 5 was on about 117 kilometers circularized, so I'll try and keep it about there. Alright, so we kept it well under 117 kilometers. Okay, about there. 71.6 by 80 point. What's that? 870. So we should get the first stage back. Can't see a reason why we wouldn't. So it's both SRBs. Okay, so we should get an alert that the first stage, the first core stage, has made it back as well. Just deploy this if it lets me. Now, as I said, we don't have an advanced SES unit. Yes, that was an oversight on my part. The Purple Double 9 Octa obviously does not have advanced SAS. I should have known that. Okay, that's 2 panels. Okay, so this is Explorer 6, so we shall head to the map view and plot Explorer 6's ejection. Once we finish that, we'll head over to Explorer 5 doing exactly the same thing for that spacecraft. Then we'll head over to Explorers 1, 2, 3 and 4 in turn. And check on their progress as well. Okay, I'm just playing around with the manoeuvre node. It looks as if we could, using all of the Delta V and the LH2 says that's the little bit of fuel remaining, and the third and final stage of the booster. Obviously, the spacecraft itself has about 1600 in thruster power, which is monoprop. But that's without touching that. So we've got 4,009. So I've been playing with about 5,900 meters per second, and we've got an encounter. It's quite high, 902,000 kilometers. It's 326 days, 1 hour 34 minutes. Now, as I said earlier in the actual series, I don't want to preempt any contracts, so I don't lose any rewards, basically. Because if you don't have a contract, you do something for the first time or whatever, you might lose the reward. So I won't be doing that. I'll try and see if we can sort of pass by something sort of visual. So I'll see if we can do that. So I can right click on those. So I can keep an eye on them. Let's bring it up. Okay, so we avoid altogether there. Periapsis there is 2,245,000 kilometers. If I'm reading that correctly. I think we'll avoid that. We don't want to. Okay, that should be okay, but we'll make sure. As I said at the beginning of the mission, try and eject at a high an angle as possible. So we send them out as quickly as possible to the outer planets. Okay, so that's 4,899.5 meters per second. I'll get it right in a second. Take about 10 minutes. It's about 8 minutes and 48 seconds away. Okay, so we have a trajectory. We won't be hitting Joule. That is for certain. By the time we get there, it's about 300 days or so. Let's just check very quickly. Yeah, about 300 days. So we have Delta V requires 4,561.5 meters per second. I've used all of both tanks. Yeah, that's remaining in the LH2, just like before. For Explorer 6, it's 4,560 meters per second. So I've used all of it. It's going to take about 10 minutes or so. Almost 10.5 minutes. We are moving on to the node as well. Right, it's going to be 10 minutes and 30 seconds before the burn starts. Okay, so that is Explorers 5 and 6 on their way to the outer planets. Faster than any spacecraft we sent before. Okay, so head over to the tracking station, take a look at Explorers 1 through 4. And we'll visit 3 and 4 because we're still in touch with those. There's no point us visiting 1 and 2 because we're just completely out of touch. We can't do anything with them. But we'll take a look how far Explorer 1 and 2 have got in the tracking station first. Okay, so catching up with the Explorer spacecraft 1 through 4. This is Explorer 1. It is completely out of touch. Yeah, there's no signal at all. And that is a heliocentric altitude, not a distance from Kerbal. You have to remember that. If you zoom out... Oh, okay. So it's well past the orbit of Joule. Okay. So it is 1 year, 80 days and 38 minutes and 1 second. At least it was. So it's just over about 1.25 Kerbal years, is it? Something like that, about there. And it is, as we know, going right off, as will 5 and 6 actually. Explorers 5 and 6 will do the same thing. Okay, so where's Explorer 2? Okay, there's Explorer 2. 1 year, 72 days. So it was it's a few days behind the first spacecraft. And that is obviously, as we know, I put this in a heliocentric closest approach, which is 72 days, 1 hour, 16 minutes currently. It has no fuel on board it whatsoever, neither does number 1 either. Well, it takes 181 days, 534 minutes to climb back up to the highest point in the orbit, which is apoapsis. Okay. Well, so we've not been able to get into touch with this again. I was hoping at some point when it goes down, I've already explained this. Hopefully when it comes back on to its apoapsis, it may just sync with Kerbal. but it hasn't done so far. But some point it might do. Okay, so where's Explorer 3? Oh, wait a minute, wait, just a second. No, so no signal still. Okay, never mind. Explorer 3. Well, there's Explorer 3. Now I have modified Explorer 3's orbit around the Sun, around Kerbal. I did push the periapsis up a little bit, trying to get it to match that of Kerbin. Doesn't seem to have actually worked too well. Okay. And it's 0.71, 71%. And first stop is 1.73 gigameters, so it's approaching 1.8 gigameters. It's approaching. So it's got quite a while, but it is approaching 2 gigameters. And those antennas seem to be easily able to handle that. So it'll be about 50%. So estimated about 50%, 0.5 of signal strength at 2 gigameters. So that means maximum, I would say, estimated between 3.5 and 4 gigameters, which isn't fantastic. But it's not too bad either. So if you zoom out a little bit, you can see the orbital track of Duna. So it's a lot further. Even closest approach is about here. And it would still be a lot further than these two could ever reach. But hopefully Explorers 5 and 6, when they cross that line here, they were everything, it might actually still be in touch. Hopefully we'll still be in touch with both spacecraft. If we are, then that means we'll be able to send it a signal, that is, to Duna, somewhere about this area. Once we're in touch with the closest approach, we should be fine. Okay, let's join Explorer 3 so we can get the science out of it. Okay, so with Explorer 3. This is 1 year, 8 days, 5 hours, 51 minutes and counting. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get any science out of these. But yeah, substantially further away than before. Okay, yeah, so the same report as before. Yes, moving further away from the Sun produces less light and heat. Amazing. So I didn't really fit anything much on these. I wish I had. No, so there's nothing again. Kerbal's enormous magnetosphere extends well beyond the orbit of Vela, affecting all the planets in the solar system. Okay, but it's so good that we can actually get in touch with this still. 71%. With Desert Airfield. Oh, so that's a Desert Airfield we're actually in touch with. Okay. Okay, I think we'll leave this. We don't need to touch anything. Should have plenty of electric, yeah, loads of electric charge. I'll leave it pointing back at the tag, and the tag is Kerbin, of course. So a little blue dot just there. Should be anywhere, yeah. Okay. And that looks like Duna. Okay. Let's head on to Explorer 4 and see if we can get any science off that. It's a slightly different trajectory. So hopefully it's slightly different. Might get some science. Okay, so we're with Explorer 4. Slightly further away than Explorer 3. And it's at 69%. It's still a desert airfield though. And we are 1 year, 9 days, and just over 6 minutes into the mission. Okay, so once again, I don't think I'm going to get anything from this, just like before. No. Yeah, it's exactly the same. Nope, still nothing. Oh, I was hoping to get something, but obviously not. Got Manitosphere shielding 0%. Oh well. So yeah, so these 4, which are rated at 32M, 0.75 exponent, which means you're going to get 75% each time you add another one on. It seems to be okay. Nowhere near the range we need. I've already mentioned that. We need about 4 times the range, really, even with all 4 of these. Okay. So I'll leave these where they are. Like I said, I've modified Explorer 3's orbit to try and bring it into a line with Kerbin's own orbital path. I'm going to leave Explorer 4 alone. We can definitely come back. It's 1 year, 9 days. It's not exactly going to disappear away from the signal. We're not going to lose control of it anytime soon, that is for sure. Okay, let's head to the tracking stations. Take a look at the Duna flyby spacecraft number 1, or Rouge 1, which is about to enter the SOI of Duna. Okay, so Rouge, or DFB1, or Rouge 1, has entered the SOI of Duna. So it's the second only flyby. So, but only the second flyby of Duna. Okay, so that is Explorers 5 and 6 on their way. We've also checked on Explorers 1 through 4. No signs from 3 and 4, but they are still in touch, as we saw, well inside 50%. Nearly 70% for Explorer 4, and Explorer 3 was at 71% on signal strength. And we also joined Rouge 1 on its flyby of Duna. Obviously, it's the second spacecraft behind Rouge 2. But it still managed to get there within 170 kilometres of the surface. Alright, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to click like. It is appreciated. Also, if you do enjoy the content, clicking that subscribe button is very much appreciated, as is sharing. Sharing does help the channel grow and is immensely, immensely appreciated. We shall leave a comment to ask a question. I'm welcome to do so. But please remember, I've got a moderator team that goes through the comments before they get to me, so it can take a while. If I actually do manage to get to you at all. Alright, if I've Discord, Facebook and Twitter. You find me on Twitter the most. However, you'll find it to all 3 of those platforms on the banner front page of the channel. Alright, once again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the very next episode. In the meantime, as always, take care and bye-bye.